Sup, all you losers, including my wife. It's time for your predictions from this week's top scorer and the best team on paper, Spectre of Patrick. Now, some of you might be wondering, why is this douchebag filming in vertical rather than horizontal? I edit videos. That's a stupid thing to film. I don't care. I'm doing it on my cell phone, and also the tape doesn't work on my monitor because it covers up the lens, so deal with it. Starting off this week with a real humdinger matchup, we got Nightmare versus the Wheel. Now, I'm going to go ahead and make a real bold prediction here, because I'm on the hype train for Ezekiel Elliott. He's going to put up 153 points for you. Exactly. That being said, I think the rest of your team's going to put up a big old goose egg. All of your other players are going to score 0 points somehow. But you'll still win with Ezekiel Elliott. 153, Wheel. I think you're going to do all right, but you just can't beat the one-man wrecking crew. I think you're going to score 80 points. Next up, we got Team Yo versus the Vagina in Chief. Now, as an aside, I gotta say I've never liked the name change to the Vagina in Chief. It kind of sounds like you're referencing our dog's name, Chief, which is just really kind of weird. That being said, Yo, I can't pick you. You're at the bottom of the league. You kind of showed up last week, but this week you're playing the top of the league. You're playing the Vagina in Chief. You know, you're on the bottom, she's on the top. Power top. I gotta go with the Vagina in Chief. 163 to 130. We got Deceivers versus Zach Jong-un. Sleevers versus the Dictator. If there was a matchup where I could have both of you lose, that would just be fantastic. That being said, one of you has to win. Or maybe you could just both get a tie and screw the league. That would be fantastic. Actually, that's what I'm going to predict in this one. I'm going to predict Zach Jong-un, because Andrew Luck, he's not going to show up like you think he is. Deceivers, I think you're going to do just well enough to tie Zach Jong-un. Both of you score 83 points this week. Tie. You're terrible. But this is the best thing that could happen for the league. Neither one of you wins, neither one of you loses. Next up, we got Oh No versus Rainbow Puke. Now, I'm looking at all your lineups here, and you got a bunch of marquee names, that's fine or whatever, but you need to take a lesson out of my book and really pick somebody that everyone in America can recognize. You know, last year's NFL MVP, for example, Cam Newton. It doesn't matter if they actually show up, score you points, work well in fantasy. None of that matters. Pick the market brand, not the actual production players. That being said, I think Puke, you're going to get your ass kicked this week. Oh No has got a better team, and while the Green Bay Packers are coming back, I don't see Aaron Rodgers doing that well this week. I think you're going to lose. Oh No wins 110. Puke, you're going to score 109. It's going to be super close. All right, next up we got Sad Taco versus the Fandangler. Now, it's looking real close this week on the website, 113 to 110. Honestly, I think it's going to be a blowout. Taco, you got all the best players in there. Latavius Murray, Demaryius Thomas, even Tyrell Williams. Got a bunch of AFC West players. They're going to kick some butt this week. Fandangler, you know, if you could start Colin Kaepernick in maybe a running back position, it might just be a little bit better for you. But you can't, so I think it's not going to work out that well. I'm going to go ahead and call Sad Taco 153, Fandangler, I don't know, 60. Got the Spectre of Patrick versus Car Ramrod. I think this is going to be a close match, unfortunately. I'd love to just outright call it for myself, so I will. But that being said, I think Car's, you know, he played through it last week. He got the adrenaline going. I think he's going to be all shook up from his little injury. I don't think he's going to do that great this week. I think you're going to get beaten by, again, the best team on paper. Looks so good, and yet nobody shows up. Still gets a W. I'm going to say 120 to 110. Well, that does it for my predictions, and I'm going to give you a little spoiler for next year, since I can guarantee I'm not going to get a high score again. Next year, secret to my draft strategy, only draft players with La, Lee, D, and Ja. All those guys, those are my players. Anybody with a normal name, they're off the team. Screw you guys. This league is awesome.